We come up with another entrance question in 2017. The question reads like that. Suppose you are given forces with F1 175 Newton in direction of 53 west of north. Here consider the word west of north, and F2 100 Newton in direction of 37 degree east of north. If you add the two forces using analytical digraphical methods and represent using a graphical scale of 1 centimeter for 10 Newton force, what are the possible angles in direction of the arrow line for resultant vector? Very nice. Now, to do this question, we need to consider two things. First, let's have XY plane. To identify the direction of the forces, let's say we have a line in between N and A. In this, here we have two angles. We have this angle, we have this angle, and we have this angle. Which one is what? That means, let's say ችኛዋን ቴታ ብንላት ችኛዋን ደግሞ አልፋ ብንላት አልፋን ሪፈርስ እናደርግ ምንድነው የምንለው? ቴታ ሪፈርስ እናደርግ ምንድነው የሚለውን ነገር አይደንቲፋይ ማድረግ ነው። that's one thing. this alpha is east of north ትባላለች። ችኛዋ east of north ትባላለች። whereas ቴታ ደግሞ north of east ትባላለች። እዚህ ጋር የተሰጡት ተርሞች የትኛው አንግል ተሰጠን ለመወሰን ይጠቅመናል ማለት ነው። so እዚህ ጋር ዌስት ኦፍ ኖርዝ ይላል። ዌስት እና ኖርዝ መሃል ያለ አንግል ነው። ይሄው f1 እዚህ መሃል ነው ያለው። f1 is in between this one. Let's say this one is f1. west of north. west of north የተሰጠን አንግል not this one. ይሄኛው አይደለም። instead እቺኛው አንግል የተሰጠችን ማለት ነው። this angle. ያው this angle አለን ማለት ነው። and that's f1. f2 ደግሞ in direction of east of north. alpha or theta? it is alpha. alpha ናት ማለት ነው። 37 ዲግሪ እና 53 ዲግሪ እቺኛውና this is one, the first angle. This one is the second. For the sake of to make it clear, I am going to take only this one. So now this እዚህ ጋር ያለው ነገር ቀለል ሲል ወደዚህ ይመጣል ማለት ነው። now we have f1 75 newton at 53 degree. we have f2 of 100 newton at 37 degree. Now we are asked to determine the net force by using a scale. 1 centimeter on the paper represents 10 Newton force. In fact, we cannot Newton 10 Newton force ወረቀት ላይ ማስቀመጥ ስለማንችል በስኬል here in ለመስራት ሁለት ነገር we can use two methods. In fact, the first is ይሄንን 75 ኒውተንን እና 100 ኒውተንን 1 ሴንቲሜትር 100 ኒውተን 10 ኒውተን ከሆነ 75 ኒውተን ስንት ሴንቲሜትር ይሆናል ብሎ መቀየር። ሲሚላርሊ 100 ኒውተንም ስንት ሴንቲሜትር ይሆናል ብለን ፋይናል ሪዛልቱን ማግኘት ይቻላል። that's one method. and the other is, or the method we are going to use now, ምንድነው እሱ? simply net force ዲተርማይን ካደረግን በኋላ የተሰጠውን ስኬል ተጠቅመን ኮንቨርት ማድረግ ነው ማለት ነው። now what I'm going to do is just determine the net force from here and then convert the resultant into the scale የሚለውን ፕሪንሲፕል ነው የምንጠቀመው for now. Therefore, we have to decompose f1 into x and y component, similarly f2 into x and y component. f1x is in negative direction, in this direction, and f1y is in upward direction, this direction. Here, fx is negative. Let's compose it. f1x is f1 times sine of 53 ይሆናል ማለት ነው። Similarly, f1y becomes it's an adjacent for the angle 73, therefore it becomes cos. Let's write this. Similarly, f2x and f2y are f2x is in the right direction here, and f2y is in upward direction. Therefore, f2x is f2 times sine of 37 degree, and f2y is f2 times cos of 37 ይሆናል ማለት ነው። That's it. Therefore, we have sine and the cosine of the given angles 53 and 37. Equating those in this equation, what do we have? f1x is, in fact here f1 is negative, we have to put it. f1 is 75 times sine of 53 0.8. When we multiply, what we get is negative 60 Newton. Negative 6 or Newton. And here, when you multiply f1 75 by cos of 53 0.6, we get 45 Newton. 45 Newton. And here, the second, f2x is 100 times sine of 37 is 0.6, therefore this becomes 60 Newton. Again, cos of 37 is 0.8. We'll multiply by ft, we will have 18 Newton. Now f net becomes the sum here x is negative 60 Newton and positive 60 Newton. Their sum becomes 0. Therefore, in net force we will not have x component force. Therefore, the only force we have is y, 45 Newton in upward direction and 80 Newton in upward direction. When we add up 45 and 80 Newton, what we get is about 125 Newton. Therefore, the final step for this equation is just converting the force given in Newton by using the provided scale. Here, 1 centimeter is given, 1 centimeter on paper represents 10 Newton force. 10 Newton force. Therefore, the net force we have is 125. How many centimeter could be represented by 125 Newton ብለን resolve እናደርገው? When we compute, the answer could be just determined by computing this crisscross equation, and the final answer could be 125 divided by 10, 12.5 centimeter. 12.5 centimeter. Now looking this here, it is in y direction. Y upward, since it is positive, it's upward. It could be north direction. Here with 12.5 Newton centimeter, 12.5 centimeter to north, 1 point north. Therefore, the correct answer could be A.